Okay, this video is about the new fictional player ability in Digital Diamond Baseball as well as its career mode. You can now add fictional players to a library, and when you do so, you have to specify what league average file you want to base the players on. This allows you to create players that are similar to a particular time in baseball history. You can also specify how many players you want to create at each position. In doing so, this will generate, it takes a little while, and will generate a whole bunch of players following those guidelines and meeting your position needs. These players are automatically placed on the free agent list, so you're ready to draft with them when you need to. Here's Damian Verneed, who looks to be one of the better players in our fictional player library that was generated. Once you have them generated, you can add a bunch of teams to your library, and then you'll be ready to conduct a draft. I'll add a few teams here to this library, and then we'll get a draft going. There's 6 teams I've added. Now I'm ready to set up my organization. You should always set up your organization before you do your draft because only teams in your organization will be included in your draft. Let's delete these extraneous divisions. I'm not going to use them all. I'm just going to have one with my 6 teams in it. Okay, my organization is cleaned up, and I think I might be ready to perform my draft. My players have already been released to the free agent pool, because that's how the fictional players are created. So I don't need to do that. I don't need to combine duplicate player records either because there aren't any in a fictional library. I will back it up before I do my draft because it's always a good idea to back up your library before you do a draft. Here's my draft order, and I'm going to choose the make drafts for team 4, and let's snake the order. 40 rounds, and let's start the draft. I'm going to make the first pick, and I don't know, let's let the computer help me with this one with a suggestion. Let's pick maybe the best batter available according to the computer manager. And there it is, well, just who we predicted, the best player in our library, we believe. And now I can let the draft continue for the computer picks until I'll do it until the end of the round or the next human pick. Let's go until the next human pick period. That brings me all the way through to the second round. And keep doing this for the 40 rounds, and I got myself a team. While I'm drafting, I can consult the Browse Players tab and sort by draft rating to get an idea of who the better players are. And I can see who's been picked as well. I can even filter based on a particular team or position to help me decide who I want to draft. The Draft Rosters tab helps me keep tabs of who I've picked already and what positions I currently have filled. So I can consult this to see whether or not I need a second baseman or whether I need another starting pitcher and so on while I'm doing my draft. All right, once I'm done with my draft, I got my full team. There it is. All my teams have been picked. It's now time to, well, let's take a look at our new reporting feature and have a look at what the roster report looks like. You can see all my teams are filled, and I can examine what positions are taken and so on. This report is quite nice. Now that I've got my teams generated, let's build some team profiles for all the teams in my library to help the manager decide how to manage these teams. I can tweak these by hand, but I'm going to auto-generate them for now and to save time. But you can go in and tweak these, especially for the team that you're probably going to be playing. Now I need a season schedule, so I'm going to go in here and create a brand new season. When I do this, I get the option to generate a schedule for the season, and I'll do that. I'll start on March 31st, maybe. Start on March 30th. March 30th, and then we'll do a 162-game season, and bang, it's going to generate that for all the teams that are in my organization. Once the schedule is created, I'm ready to play some games. See, there's the schedule. Let's fast play through a few of these games. Again, remember, these are fictional players, so it's kind of exciting to see who emerges as a good team, a good player. No DH in this. There's only one division. We'll choose not to use the DH. And there's a simulation of the first day. And now, right off the bat, I can check out my library standings, league standings, and you can see my team is 0-1. Team 4 is 0-1. Not so good there. I can browse my season stats to see who's done well. And the new feature also tracks career stats. So as I repeatedly play seasons, the career stats will be saved across all those seasons. Here I go. I'm going to restart my season. And another new option is the ability to age players. If I choose yes, the players will be aged by 1 year. And as they are aged, their ability will change. So here we are, aged for 1 year. And the ability of these players is going to adjust depending on their age compared to their peak age. Let's run another day's worth of stats. As you can see now, my career stats, there's somebody with 15 at-bats. That same player only has 10 for the current season. So you can see the career stats do accumulate. Here we have Milford, who is 29 years old. And if I hover over, you can see his age factor is causing him to be minus 0.03 and his on-base percentage. Here's somebody who's 24, and now they've got a plus 0.003, which is plus 0.3%. So you can see these players are getting worse or better as they age, depending on how close they are to their peak age. We start another season, and this time I aged the players, and sure enough, some players are going to retire. That's because they've reached the retirement age, and as they approach their retirement age, there's a chance they'll retire. When players are retired, they will automatically be replaced by some new recruits. Players are shown in green in the Career Stats tab if they have retired. Here's the options that control this whole thing. You can see I specified peak performance age, earliest retirement age, should we auto-replace players when they retire, adjusting stats on age, and so on. I can disable the player adjustment on their age if I want from that screen as well. If I want to restart the entire career all over again, I can do that too. Enjoy the feature.